Neighbors say two big problems really start with the tall grass and these utility poles, which makes it difficult to see southbound traffic, which is the way the dump truck was traveling. There is a trail along County Road 800 South, but that is almost 100 yards away from the intersection, and bikers say that forces them to have to share the road with the traffic. Many of the patients that come to this waiting room at the Raphael Center don't have insurance, but officials say thanks to the Affordable Care Act, half of them now do. And some of the dogs, like this mom and her pups, will be located to ARF or local kennels until they're able to be adopted. Police say a woman taken from this group home against her will is safe. Tonight, what police say played a key role in finding her. We're here at one of the many houses in Indianapolis to receive free smoke detectors, all thanks to the 100 volunteers to sign up with the Red Cross. The debate for this really comes with the revamp and growth of this area, but with that growth comes some struggles. We're here at the annual tortoise race at the zoo. We have details coming tonight at 6. As many in Texas raced for shelter while floodwaters rose overnight, others were rushing to help the flood victims. Even in an office 1,000 miles away, Brooke Reister is making sure Hoosiers have a way to the Lone Star State.
I see disaster mental health for Texas.
Reister is the Emergency Services Manager for Red Cross of Indianapolis.
Okay, so it looks like Diane is going as a disaster mental health supervisor to Austin, Texas.
Her job is to deploy Red Cross volunteers when disasters come. Today, she is sounding the alarm for more Indiana volunteers to head to Texas.
Literally within the last 5 minutes, I've just seen at least 20 positions posted to go to Texas to help.
Wish TV talked on the phone with one Hoosier already deployed to Texas, Jerry Montgomery from Michigan City.
In San Marcos, there were homes that were underwater. The whole home was underwater.
Montgomery served with the Red Cross for 14 years and has seen the effect it has on a community that loses everything.
I see how the Red Cross going in and providing all the things that they do provide helps to alleviate some of that stress and trauma.
With each phone call, Reister hopes to continue finding people like Montgomery, volunteers who are ready to help those in need.
They're giving up their time with their own families and saying, I want to go help someone else. I want to go help strangers. I'm going to give up my time here and go. And so it gets me every time.
Reister says the need for more volunteers will most likely continue to rise as more rain is expected in Texas. Shaelie Clark, 24-Hour News 8.
Well, I always wear a helmet. That's first and foremost.
Dan Cook of Indianapolis is no rookie when it comes to cycling.
Well, I try to ride 2 or 3 times a week.
Cook crosses the intersection of State Road 13 and 800 in Pendleton frequently on his bike rides, and he understands he isn't the only one using the road.
Some people are going to be aware of cyclists and some aren't, and so I have to be aware of them.
But sometimes even being aware of the surrounding cars can still end tragically, like they did today when a driver plowed through the stop signs at that intersection, hitting a car and 2 cyclists. Investigators believe the driver, Michael Shriver, was drunk when he hit the 2 cyclists. Medics lifeline the cyclist to Methodist Hospital, where one remains in critical condition. Now, drivers are speaking out after this is the second major accident to happen at this intersection.
Stoplights, more stop signs, maybe make that a 4-way stop.
I think they should put a light or something there. I think that would help things out a lot easier.
The Indiana Department of Transportation lowered the speed limit in the area to 45 miles per hour after a car hit 14-year-old Pierce Ressler 2 months ago while he was walking on the side of the road. Upcoming plans include adding stoplights by the interstate ramps, but nothing will be added to the intersection. Drivers say one way to stop the accidents is for people to watch out for one another.
You just got to be careful. You got to keep your eyes on the road, and there's no room for mess up on this road.
But for Cook, this intersection will now remind him to always be on the lookout for those he shares the road with.
It just is a sad reminder that as a cyclist, I have to be really cautious and really aware of what the vehicle drivers are doing.
For 24-Hour News 8, I'm Shaelie Clark. It's a typical country road speed limit.
Most people come through here going a lot faster than 45 miles per hour.
2 stop signs stand on 156th Street at the intersection of Bowdoin Road. But sometimes drivers like to make up their own rules of the road. At least that's how neighbor Eleanor Smith sees it.
Sometimes I think people are going, well over 55 miles per hour because it's not a highly patrolled area.
The news of another accident came as no surprise to Smith, who sees the potential dangers at 156th and Bowdoin. Medics airlifted 2 teenagers to Indianapolis this morning after a dump truck slammed into their SUV at the intersection. Both remain in critical condition.
We can only suspect that at this time, for some unknown reason, the Traverse pulled out in front of the dump truck as the dump truck was traveling southbound.
Neighbors say two big problems really start with the tall grass and these utility poles, which makes it difficult to see southbound traffic, which is the way the dump truck was traveling.
So if I'm going east, I'm inching my way out into traffic to make sure that I don't get hit, or if I'm going south, I'm doing the same thing.
Neighbors say the intersection stays busy. Some won't even let their kids out in the backyard because of the mini drivers. Now, the deep tire marks near the road remind the neighbors to take one extra look.
So I always tell my son, drive safe, drive for the other drivers, because not everybody's going to pay attention to speed, stop signs, and then again, you're not going to always see if somebody is coming from the opposite direction.
For 24 Hour News 8, I'm Shaelie Clark.